Today, no BS. Let's talk about some stuff. First of all, what exactly is going on with Ripple in the UK and Ireland? Twitter is filled, YouTube is filled, everybody is talking about it. What does it mean? Is this our lucky time? Huh? Cowboy Crypto posted, and again, this website here, I don't like, because I'm never sure if they're real, If the news that comes out is fake or just whatever. But I know that this message is not too far off from the reality. Ireland is an important puzzle piece to Montenegro. Once the exchange has this Irish license, Ripple wants to passport its service across Europe, said by Stuart Alroty on CNBC. Ripple is also going to file an electronic money license application in Ireland. Well, the whole, start of this all refers back to months and months ago, and it's actually more of a rabbit hole than I might have imagined. Do you guys remember a while back, the Central Bank of Montenegro working with Ripple to create a CBDC a good while back? And that specific central bank also doesn't really want to be part of all these ECB meetings. But we're looking for some accession to the country, for the country into the Eurozone. And so now this article here, and specifically an article about an interview with the managing director for UK and Europe, Cindy Young, basically reveals that Ripple aims to expand in the UK and Europe after their US victory. And the company still sees US as its global hub, and we are going to continue growing exponentially in Europe and the UK. And actually, a little while back, I think 2 days ago or so, we also saw Ripple say they're massively expanding over in Singapore, doubling their headcount in that office. And we're also trying to double the like button presses. So, don't press it twice, because then the like goes away. It's not what I'm saying. But if you didn't press that like button last time, make sure you press it right now. And if you did press it last time, make sure you double it up by pressing it again today. Anyway, Ripple's basically just pointing out they're not really, after this whole US victory, stopping their expansion around the globe. That's one of the most important parts. Where a lot of people were saying, okay, so does this mean Ripple's going to fully focus on the US? As right now they've got that staying power or so. Well, no, they're still expanding everywhere, and they're trying to grow exponentially in all of these regions, increasing their headcounts in almost any single one of these offices. And she says, I'm very excited to see the momentum. UK is starting to make good on its promises to try be this investment hub for the crypto space, and for that reason they applied for a license there, which could also potentially just more so be as like a backup matter. I've been thinking about that for a while. What if Ripple knows something that we don't? For example, the idea that even though XRP is a properly regulated asset right now, it's the only crypto with the proper clarity, but what if all these crypto laws and rules that are being made right now, that are being put into production right now, are actually going to be so destructive for the crypto ecosystem that the US exoduses themselves completely from the game? And even though XRP then is fine as an entity, right? XRP. What if Ripple and all these other fintech or blockchain type of companies are just really barred from operating in almost any way, shape, or form? Even though XRP's got the clarity, it could be that Ripple is getting a very hard time to operate depending on what new crypto laws come out. A good example is, this is something that's not close to reality. It's an example. Let's say Ripple were to really rely heavily on decentralized exchanges, and one of their major pieces of tech was facilitating the trade between unknown parties, which you might say they do. Anyway, they don't, because they have anti-money laundering, etc. But let's just say that one of the new laws were to really put in that no more transactions of that sort could take place because we need everything strict on paper, and Ripple just couldn't do that, in the US at least. They might have to move. Maybe, just maybe, Ripple is close to my investor friends' thoughts of the US destroying themselves in due course. And so they know they must... Hey, guys. I guess, hey, guys. Not sure if you guys heard that. I think you did. Anyway, I was trying to pull up my most latest short here. Coinbase CEO says China will win the crypto race. What I said in there was actually bringing up Coinbase. That also said the US is just falling behind to China, because they're just winning in crypto. And both of these teams came together. The Ripple might know what the US is doing. And my investor friend also said the same, that after the next bull market, so in a couple years from now, the US is going to destroy themselves with crypto regulations. Maybe Ripple just wants to be ahead of the curve. I don't think so, but maybe. What has also been interesting is how Ripple has focused on the CBDC realm. We've been talking about it for a while, just how huge it is, not how bullish I am on it. I personally see CBDCs as a net negative. And the same thing goes for FedNow. The same thing goes for many other pieces of tech. Even though they're good for the ecosystem that they're in, they're bad for the people ultimately. Same thing could be said about AI for the internet. I mean, it makes a lot of tasks so much more efficient, but it makes so many things so surface level. Whereas right now, the quality of articles has dropped significantly. It's becoming harder and harder to find out which of these articles was written by humans and AI. And some might point out to say, well, but maybe the AI articles are better. Could be, but I just don't like to see our entire world like replaced by robots, I guess. Anyway, the Federal Reserve is building the financial equivalent of the Death Star by Warren Davidson. All right, that's what he said. CBDC corrupts money into a tool for coercion and control. Congress must swiftly ban them, then criminalize any effort to design, build, develop, test, or establish a CBDC. This is interesting coming from Warren Davidson, who's also very much against Gary Gensler. He's the guy that said, fire Gary Gensler. And again, the reason I put this whole post a little bit earlier of Ripple knowing some stuff, perhaps, for example, this whole UK, Ireland thing, which is connected to Montenegro via the CBDCs to try staying in Europe, might be more connected than we think with, for example, Ripple's focus on CBDC, that they might not be able to enact from everywhere. Their own words. You will engage directly with management, other developers on the team, the development operations team, and vendors to ensure the Federal Reserve is well positioned to design, develop, and implement technology to support CBDC as may be required by the Board of Governors. This is referring to, again, the Death Star that is being created right here and his thoughts on it. Perhaps, again, you need an exit for in case things get bad or get really pressy. Again, a lot of people seem to think that now because Ripple's lawsuit is over and they've won, right? It's not officially over, but Ripple's XRP part is over, that all of a sudden regulations will come in quickly. Let me disappoint you right there in stating even the whole Bitcoin ETF situation. Ex-SEC members, Jay Clayton, for example, stated that the ETF should probably be approved. Yet here we are today with no approval. Why? Because it might still take so ridiculously long, as these are stupid legacy systems. BlackRock's move into Bitcoin ETF has caused a stir, but it didn't move the price up, which is still believed to be manipulation, but hey. But experts caution not to expect a rapid surge in approvals. Despite optimism, regulatory roadblocks persist still. I mean, I don't want to sit here and talk about this manipulation and coincidence thing too long, but so many things are interesting to me. The whole CBDC connection with now the band, with now Fed, now with Ripple, it's all interesting, but not as special. What's more special is the Bitcoin ETF situation, or potentially the Fed now Ripple lawsuit settlement situation, that they're just like so close to one another. Then again, it's also interesting. I know it's just a coincidence, I think, but it's so funny how X, which is supposed to change the entire financial system, you know, Twitter changed to X by Elon Musk, launches a couple days after the XRP thing finishes. You know, XRP changed the financial system. X changed the financial system. We're so close apart. It's funny. Another fun part, and I've been talking about this for a while, is when people come up to me and say, you know what, but XRP could still fail. And I'd say, you're right, it could, but it depends on which field you're looking at it from. But actually, before I talk about that more, make sure you check out the link down below for Bybit. It's an exchange I personally use all the time, and right now you can get yourself an 1125 USDT contract to trade XRP with. On me. So check it out. Link is down below. And BitGet, right now you can win a ton of different prizes on this little spinning wheel. And all you have to do to get different spins is fulfill these tasks. Every single task you do gets you another spin to potentially win a couple $1,000s or a MacBook Air, or just $1 or $10, $100, whatever. Check it out. Links for that is also down below. It's called BitGet. Anyway, Bitcoin may fail, says former National Economic Council Director Gary Cohn about the cryptocurrency's record rally, telling Emily Chang its system has no transparency. It's funny, but you know, they always try to say XRP can fail. But in reality, XRP's got clarity that no other has. And they often try to discredit this by saying, yeah, but Bitcoin is doing okay, and Ethereum is actually doing better versus Bitcoin than XRP is. But a matter of question then becomes, yeah, but how long would that remain that way? In the sense of XRP is now at one of the peak levels where it can be, and it's only been there for about 10 days or so. Yeah, a lot of things are still having to sink in. A lot of the partnerships and now potential is just starting, but hasn't really come up yet. But what would this look like at the peak of the next run? And potentially the moment that new regulations come on in, because they might skip over XRP, as that has already been decided by the courts, and now the other ones are vague and opaque. And from that same perspective, yeah, perhaps they're going to come for some new regulations against Bitcoin, but can they really do the same thing for XRP? It's a good question. DAI said there is only one digital asset that has the kind of transparency he is talking about. Just so happens it's the only digital asset with legal regulatory clarity. And really, the more you start thinking about it, this whole narrative from the past of XRP is a banker coin, XRP is a centralized shitcoin, garbage, yada, yada, yada. It's now basically all turning against the people with the sense of, well, you always crap the top of its head, but look at where it is right now. And I know the price might not reflect it fully, but if you know what you hold, then you know there's some sort of manipulation wave to try to keep this down, because things are just too coincidental. And again, just to set this all in stone, take a look. John Deaton said an appeal is not even close to like a setback. First, it will be 2 years from now before a decision issued by the Second Circuit. if it is appealed, right? This is like, the initial appeal will take a long time if they were to go for it. The Torres decision is the law until then, which again means that XRP will not be a security for the next 2 years anyway, at least in the Second Circuit. Second, even if the Second Circuit said Torres was wrong regarding her application of the third Howey factor, which I predict they won't, that doesn't mean the SEC wins on programmatic sales on exchanges anyway. All that happens is that Torres then applies the other two factors and could likely still rule the exact same way, concluding the SEC didn't satisfy the common enterprise factor, which is a more difficult factor to meet than the third factor. Don't let anyone underestimate how significant this win is for XRP and XRP holders and Ripple. Let me be more precise. I'm not suggesting that the judge decision is binding within the Southern District of New York. A fellow district judge could disagree with her, but I think a fellow judge in the Second Circuit is going to be hard-pressed to disagree with the judge, especially considering she cited Judge Castell from Telegram. After reading the Coinbase transcript, we can see it's already playing out that way, where she basically set things in stone quite properly for others to not be able to say jack shizzle about it. And now BitBoy, right, one of the most famous crypto influencers, said, this means bullish through the bull run no matter what. XRP has been relisted on exchanges and no one is scared. To which I have to say, guys, come back to my channel if you are afraid of all this. So you think I'm somebody who talks mad crap. Come back to this in about a year from now, because I honestly predict the bull cycle happens the same way every couple of years, and the only thing that could change it is potentially some crazy crypto regulations. But come back to my channel in about a year from now and look at where the XRP price is. Any single time before this, I could have never told you what I'm telling you now. But I honestly believe that XRP will outperform almost any single crypto in the bull market in terms of gain in market cap, not percentage-wise. And that basically means that even though right now prices are going down, I don't really mind that. And I'm not saying that that's something that's unexpected, but I'm saying the moment that the bulls are back, that things are going to be out of proportionally good. And that many will be surprised and many will be biting their tongue, just like they did now by saying that Ripple was going to lose, yet it won. But hey, you got to be patient a little bit with this one, though, because as I said, I can't predict what things are going to look like on the short term. All I can say is, take a look at what I've learned over the last decade in crypto. A dump of the proportion that we just saw usually is even worse for cryptos that just gained a lot. But Bitcoin dropped like $900 in a minute or so. If we just disregard this little hiccup in the road and look over a little bit of a longer term, the actual bull scenario, which comes back within a couple of weeks, months, and will most likely find its peak end 2024, beginning 2025, I think this crypto will be up there. But hey, that is just my opinion. That's how I'm preparing for it. That's how I've done it all these different cycles, and that's how I think is the best way to do it. Not a financial advisor, but I'd say unless you have a better idea, it might be worth studying what I've just told you, as, well, there are a handful of people that speak to more institutional investors than I do watching this right now. But I'd say for the most part, for the other 99.9% of you guys watching, this is just the general consensus under almost anybody that I know. And so I take it as granted, might be wrong, but at least this was a very good freaking guess, the way I see it. And I guess if we're wrong, we're all going to go broke, because then crypto is going nowhere. But hey, it's just a theory.